Hey guys, welcome back. This is Battle Cattle. Today we are going to be doing some quick match with Kael'thas. And so I'm going to do a guide and talk about how to play him, talk about talents and some tactics and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. The last video that I just finished was Abathur, and it went really well. So if you want to go check that video out, it'll be in the description below. Alright, we got a matchup. We're playing Garden of Terror. On my team we got Kael'thas, Vala, Rhaegar, Tyrael, and Li-Ming. Looks like a pretty good combo. On their team, Li-Ming and Kael'thas, of course there's going to be a mirror, and Arthas, Lili, and Raynor. So what I think I'm going to try to do is I'm going to be poking at Lili as much as I can because I don't want their healer to be doing much. The problem with her is she does the blinding ability. So it can be a little difficult to poke at her because she'll just blind you and run away. If I get a chance, I am definitely going to go for Li-Ming or Kael'thas because they're really squishy. If I can hang one of them up in the air with my gravity laps, then they will be done. Alright, to start off, for those of you who don't know Kael'thas, he's got some pretty good talents at Tier 1. The only problem is he's such a mana sponge that you pretty much have to go with Mana Addict. It'll basically, every time you collect one of those green regen globes that the minions drop, then you'll get extra maximum mana, which becomes really helpful in game. Fel Infusion, activating Verdant Spheres, your D ability, will heal you. It's not really that necessary, especially if you have a healer. It can be good to kind of save your butt if you're about to die, but I typically don't go with that one. And the bottom one is really good if you want to burst people down. If you're planning on hanging them up in the air like this and bursting them down, that last talent can be amazing for you. But you see, we got him anyways. I typically go with Mana Addict just because, yeah, I could hang people up in the air and do a lot of damage to them, but I would have no mana and I would have to flee the battle almost immediately. So grab as many of these regen globes as you can. I'm going to hop between lanes and try to get these regen globes.
My pleasure.
Ooh, that was close. I did not know Kael'thas was hiding in the grass right there. Oh, I guess Tyrael told me. Yeah, I don't expect this Kael'thas to be as good because he doesn't have any color variations. Of course, he could just maybe didn't pick a color, but typically people want to show off their color variations. So I don't think that he's made it to a very high level. So we're going to clear these minions as fast as possible and then get out of here so that they don't grab me. There we go. Alright, so if you guys want to know how to do what I just did to him and what I did to Raynor earlier, I immediately do E. So Gravity Lapse, what it does is it will stun the first enemy it hits. So if minions are in the way, it'll stun a minion and it's useless. But if you position yourself correctly, you can stun a hero. So it'll throw him up in the air, and in that amount of time, so you're going to do E immediately, and then right after that, you're going to hit D to activate Verdant Spheres, and then put your Q underneath them. So it'll do the Flame Strike circle underneath them. While they're up in the air, that Flame Strike circle will go off and do a lot of damage. As soon as you do your Flame Strike circle, you will do Living Bomb on them, just for that added damage to make sure that they take as much damage as possible. Normally, it's a good way to burst them down, so it works quite often for me. This one, I'm just going to go ahead with Netherwind, and then I'll explain the other talents in a second. Because I want to get... this is a bad position. I'm going to die. Yeah. Alright, so Flame Strike restores mana per enemy killed. This could be good for restoring your mana on lane clears. Typically, I don't have that many mana problems once I've taken the first talent, the Mana Addict, and then I just keep getting regen globes. So I don't want to waste this talent to get mana because in game, I have plenty of mana. So I'm not going to take that talent. I would rather be able to get people up in the air faster and stun them. Because as it is, normally people can avoid gravity lapse because they see it coming. So This one will speed it up, so it goes to them so fast that they can't get out of the way. Gathering Power, honestly, it's more of a gamble, because you have to pick this talent so early on that you don't really know if you're going to get a lot of killing blows in this game or not. And if you don't get any killing blows in the game, it's a wasted talent. If you do get killing blows, on the other hand, it is really helpful. So I have been in games where I maxed out the Gathering Power stacks and we just steamrolled the other team. But the kicker to this is if you die, then Gathering Power loses all of its stacks and you have to start over again. And normally in games you don't get enough killing blows to replenish all of your Gathering Power stacks that many times in the game. So I just typically don't go with that one. And the bottom one, Envenom. That one's good for an extra dot. A lot of characters on Heroes of the Storm do have Envenom, and so it's good for an extra damage over time, or a dot, D-O-T. And the only problem with it is it has a really close range. So you have to get really close to the person, basically hug them, before you can put Envenom on them. And a lot of times that exposes you to a bad situation, exposes you to damage, because as Kael'thas you don't really have any escapes. I mean, many. You have your Verdant, or your Gravity Lapse, but if minions are in the way, you can't really use it to get out. So I don't normally go with that one. So yeah, back on this talent, I go with Netherwind. That's the reason I go with that one. Level 7 talent. I'm gonna get this little globe right here. Level 7 talent. Fission Bomb is normally the one I go with because I like to living bomb people. And it increases the damage done by that living bomb to everybody around them, which is good because typically what I've noticed is people will try to escape living bomb by running back to their allies, which is exactly what I want them to do, because they'll take the living bomb back to their allies and then blow up and damage all of them. So I always take this one. It increases the living bomb explosion radius and damage. That's great. Special attack on Verdant Sphere's activation. This could be good situationally because you activate your Verdant Spheres and immediately your next basic attack does a lot more damage. I typically don't do that much damage from my basic attacks. I try to focus on abilities to do my damage. Basic attacks do hit hard on this guy, but I don't typically focus on that because I'm moving so much I can't really basic attack. So that one's not really as viable for me. But I guarantee you can find situations where it's good. Try Optimal. Gravity Lapse reduces Verdant Sphere's cooldown. So the way you could use this is you could use Verdant Spheres to Gravity Lapse somebody, which will throw 3 of them up in the air. And if you hit all 3 of them, then it'll reduce your cooldown of Verdant Spheres so you can automatically use it again. You can immediately use it again. And then you'll be able to use a big Flame Strike Circle or double Living Bombs on somebody. I typically don't go with it just because that's not my playstyle. I like the extra explosion radius and all that kind of stuff. So this one, for this team and for this map, I'm going to go with Pyroblast. So with Pyroblast, you only have 2 heroics and both of them are really good. I've heard people say Pyroblast is bad, don't ever get that. That's just a total lie. I'm going to see if I can show you right there. Let's see if it kills her. Got her. That is why I go with Pyroblast. It's a ball of fire that follows the enemy. There is nothing they can do to get away from it once you cast it. The kicker is everybody and their mother will interrupt you while you're trying to cast it, but if you actually get it off, then it's going to do a lot of damage. Like, for instance, Sylvanas, it will take her from full health to half health in one hit, which is really good, especially if she's already running away, which she does a lot. Then you can just hit her with that, and it'll kill her. Phoenix. That one is, it basically puts a huge circle down with a Phoenix in the middle that throws fire at people, at everybody who's in the circle. That one is good for denying them an objective. So if you don't want the enemy team to have an objective, like Dragonshire is a good one, where you're trying to keep them away from the shrines down at the bottom or the top. You put a Phoenix there, and they can't get in there because the Phoenix will do so much damage that it will kill them or damage them enough that you can jump in there and kill them. So it's good for denying objectives to the enemy team. But this one I just went with Pyroblast just because I really need to pick off Li-Ming, and it's good for doing that, as you could tell from what I did earlier. Alright, let's run up here and get mid lane. I want to soak that EXP. So we're going to kill all these minions up here. Now, good mana saver. Do your Verdant Spheres, D, and then Living Bomb. Your first Living Bomb when you do Verdant Spheres is free. It doesn't cost any mana, which is really good because Flame Strike costs 70, and that adds up really quick. So that's a good way to save mana. You can clear a lane by doing this. Do a Living Bomb here, then the next Living Bomb there, and they'll all explode and clear that, and you only spent 50 mana on that entire lane clear. Whereas if you did it with the Flame Strike and Living Bomb, it would cost you 70 plus 50, which can really add up because Kael'thas doesn't have that much mana. So with this tier of talents, this one, it's not really a competition in my mind. The only one I ever go with on this one is Chain Bomb, because it is just so OP. They have done a little work on it since Kael'thas actually came out, but it still is overpowered. So if the enemy team wants to hide in a group of minions or something like that, then that's okay with me. I will just Living Bomb everything. I'll put 2 Living Bombs on there, and then as they explode, they'll spread to everybody around them. So everybody will have Living Bombs on them, and it'll explode for massive amounts of damage. I think I counted it one time. It was like 250 damage per minion on everybody around them. So if you have, let's say, 5 minions in a group, that's 250 damage from each of those on a hero that's trying to hide in the middle of them. So it can be really good. That's what I love about Chain Bomb. Also, if somebody tries to escape your Chain Bomb and you cast it on them and then they run behind their towers, they've now done damage to all of their towers that you weren't able to reach by yourself. So they basically carried your damage back with them. Alright, we're going to clear these minions up here. I'll show you. Here's a double Living Bomb. There you go. I'm going to get the seed real quick, just because I don't want the enemy team to have it. Alright. Now I'm going to push with the Terror, because we can do a lot of damage. They're going to be focused on trying to kill the Terror, and I'm going to be focused on trying to kill them. Also, another tip, if you want to increase your overall damage with Kael'thas against towers and stuff like this, do Verdant Spheres, then do Q, and you put it right here, and it will actually hit both the tower and the keep at the same time. So you can do a lot of damage, and if you time it right, you can get the minions in it too. So you can do a massive amount of damage with one hit. That 70 mana will be worth so much. Now this one, I'm just going to do Flame Strike explodes twice. This one is very situational. I don't always pick this talent. This time I'm going to pick this talent because the enemy team is not hitting very hard. They're not much of a threat to us. We have a 3-level advantage on them, so I would rather do a lot of damage to a tower. So you see the Flame Strike explodes twice on that same tower. That is how much damage it did just with one Flame Strike going on it, because it exploded twice. Backdraft will slow people if I put Living Bomb on them. So if they're trying to escape and I put a Living Bomb on them, they can't escape anymore because they're slowed. So I'm going to get out of there. And then this one, Arcane Barrier. This is one you're going to want to get if you have a Zeratul or a Nova on the other team, or really even like a Butcher or somebody that just keeps griefing you constantly. It's based on your maximum mana, so it really stacks with Mana Addict. If you get a lot of orbs, like my maximum mana is increased by 390 now because of all the orbs that I've gotten. Well, this Arcane Barrier, based on how much maximum mana you have, it will give you a shield. So if somebody like Nova pops out and tries to shoot you, immediately press 1 and shield yourself, and you will be able to survive and run away from her. So that is very helpful. But you can see how well I'm doing on mana right now, end game, because I've already got 28 stacks, which is a lot of stacks, and they don't disappear when you die. So I don't need that other mana talent that came at like level 7, I think. I don't need that talent because I've gathered enough spheres. So it's good to use that one talent space for more damage.
Are you ready for some?
Okay, she's got top. I'm gonna go mid and no. Oh my goodness, this is bad. Yeah, I don't think you're actually gonna kill me with that. Yeah, that was close, but I had too much health for that. I gotta get out of here because I don't want to feed the enemy team. I don't want to just die needlessly.
What must be done?
The sun.
Okay, so this map, a lot of people will focus on pushing with the terror, which is great, but if the other terrors pop up, it is extremely important to get these terrors. You want to get all the little shamblers over here and the garden terror right here, because you don't want the enemy team to have them. So your seeds, if it says you have 100 seeds, you can keep getting seeds, and they will keep increasing. So you can... like, your terror will die, and immediately you'll have 100 seeds, and you can just get another terror already. So while they are distracted killing my terror, I'm going to go down here and get more seeds, because we want all these seeds. Do a flame strike and a living bomb on him. Stay out of that purple circle, because that does actually a lot of damage. I've seen a lot of times where, and I've taken advantage of it too, where the enemy team will get stuck in that purple circle, and what's going on with this? There we go. Server's just a few seconds ahead. Had some lag right there. Alright. Wow, I guess the AI immediately took over. Bye-bye, Li-Ming. Yeah, carry that right into the middle of everybody. Got both of them with that flame strike. And nah, I didn't get her. All right. All right, I'm gonna get the plant. I would like to be around to do more damage, but it didn't look like anybody else wanted to, and it's not really that big of a deal. We are kind of ahead, so. All right, I'm gonna push. I'm just gonna push mid. Now with this last one, I'm just going to go with Presence of Mind because I want to throw as many Pyroblasts on him as possible. It increases the Pyroblast radius, so when it hits somebody, it explodes around them and does a lot of damage. And also it lowers the cooldown per enemy hero hit, which can be really nice because they love to group up. They think that there's a lot of protection in a group, and I will just show them otherwise, and I'll take advantage of it. So I'm going to go with Presence of Mind. The other one is really good if you want to burst them down really fast. You can do Presence of Mind. Arcane Power, sorry. Arcane Power. And what it'll do is you activate it. So it's like your number 1 or number 2, depending on how many abilities you have up there. And it will increase your spell power for the next ability you use, which can be really useful if you want to hit him with a really hard Pyroblast. So you could pop that, and it'll do a really big amount of damage on your Pyroblast, and you can definitely kill somebody with it. It'll also restore some mana, which isn't really that big of a deal at end game. Now, Bolt of the Storm is a big thing if you need to escape from people. Like if you're constantly trying to escape from people and you just can't seem to get away, like Butcher keeps getting you or something like that, then Bolt of the Storm. It's one that I think almost every hero has. I don't know if every hero has it because I haven't played every hero, but it is something that is very useful because it will allow you to get out of there. And as Kael'thas, you don't really have many escapes. Just going to throw that over there. And you see when I try to hit them with the Flame Strike, I also make sure that the little corner of it is in the core, so that if it misses them, I still get damage on the core. Because you want to maximize your damage no matter how you can. So if you think that there's a possibility of missing, make sure you at least hit something with your Flame Strike. Alright, so we won. That was a big level advantage. 17 to 21 on those levels. That was a good game. Alright, let's see what our score screen says. Item level 9, it takes so long to get to level 10. 178,000 EXP, that's not bad at all. Let's see, 15,000 EXP. I didn't actually get top siege or top hero, so I could have done better this game, but still with 7 killing blows and 17 assists, I was really beneficial to the team, which is good. Only 1 death, so you want to keep that number as low as possible. Tyrael actually surprised me. Most Tyraels I don't see do that much damage. They just focus on tanking and kind of distract the enemy team while I run in there and get all the damage. But yeah, so if we look at their team, they made a lot of mistakes. They were very disorganized. They just didn't really have any good plays going on that game. Obviously, 4 kills on their team and 32 on our team. So their problem was they just died a lot. Their situational positioning was really bad. Their Arthas, he was trying to tank, but their Li-Li, I noticed, wasn't really there healing that well. And there were a lot of times where Arthas would overextend, and that's not something you want to do as a tank. You want to stay close to your healer, but you want to stay in front of your other people so that your other people like Li-Ming and Kael'thas can do a lot of damage from behind you. So anyways, that was a really good game. There's a lot that I think we can learn from that game. Basically look at what the enemy team did and try not to do that. And also look at the good plays that my team had and see if you can replicate those in some of your matches. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked this guide. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you want to see in future videos, and be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps out. Thanks, guys.